is Pam Rana, and DEA asked me to perform tonight. They said, quote, they wanted a comedian who would lighten the mood. I'll be honest, it's a tall order to lighten the mood regarding the total global nightmare of large-scale environmental disaster. But I'll try. It's like being asked to MC a really big memorial service for everything. First of all, guys, I want to put it out there. I am not from the United States, aka evil Canada. I am from Canada, Canada. Canadians are like Americans, except we're unarmed. The only thing I'm packing is a good attitude and a healthcare system that works. Thank you. Canadians hate being mistaken for Americans, just like Australians hate to be confused with backpacker killers. Am I right? Some of you might also be wondering, she's from Canada, but what race is she? That awkward silence is the sound of your white guilt. Just so you won't be distracted by my pigmentation, I'll tell you that I am proudly Indian. My parents come from India. Someone's laughing back there. It is funny, because puberty came with a mustache. Or as I called it in high school, nature's birth control. That's the real oral contraceptive, you know what I'm saying? I came to Australia to go to medical school, or as it's known in Indian families, finishing school. And being a doctor's okay, especially if you like your friends hitting you up for drugs all the time. And I'm cool. I like to slightly overdose them on blood pressure medication. And then they're all like, they try to get up, they're like, whoa, I'm so lightheaded and dizzy. Oh, this stuff's a trip. I call it putting the lols in metoprolol. There it is, DEA, a tailor-made beta blocker joke just for you. The reason I became a doctor was so that after I told my parents that I really wanted to do comedy, I would have the skills necessary to resuscitate them. After I told them, boom, Dad's got chest pain, Mom is short of breath. I quickly realized you can't resus 2 parents at a time, so I had to choose. Many Christmases were considered. And can you imagine having to resuscitate 2 Indians? Thank God they weren't conscious to criticize me. Now, the DEA asked me to talk because, as Hayden mentioned, I have a show. It's called Kim Kardashian is Bad for the Environment. Quick poll, do we all know who Kim Kardashian is? Yes, mostly. If you don't know, if you've been to a Kohl's or a Woolies, if you look at any New World for the last 12 years, she's been on the cover. Any of those tabloids. So if you don't know, just put that in your mind. And as I said, the name of the show is Kim Kardashian is Bad for the Environment. Or, in Lancet 2009 terms, Kim Kardashian is the biggest global health threat of the 21st century. Or, in 2017 terms, tackling Kim Kardashian could be the greatest global health opportunity of the 21st century. The show is about how the rise of one reality TV star is tantamount to the destruction of the entire Southeast Asian rainforest, and how the excessive use of spray tan kills dolphins. You can't see the show anymore. I did it for a few years and I've retired it. Okay, some of you may have seen it. And if you did, you're welcome for being awesome. To the rest of you, you've lost your chance, which is all the more reason to pay attention to me now. So listen up. I don't know if environmentalism can compete with Kim Kardashian. Environmentalism needs a rebrand. This stuff is depressing. You get people don't connect with it. People don't respond to these depressing images. And you can't blame them. On one hand, you've got the glitz and glamour of Kim Kardashian, and on the other, emaciated polar bears morosely clinging to half an iceberg. And for that matter, why make a documentary and call it an inconvenient truth? Who among you wants to be inconvenienced? Terrible marketing. Why would you listen to that message? And I'm not inconvenienced. I'm angry. I'm gonna blow your minds for a second, DEA, because this is what I think. The greatest threat to human health is not climate change. The greatest threat to human health is other humans. It's not the hundreds of climate change deniers. It's not the thousands of big polluters. It's the billions of people who don't give a shit. And none of us are getting off easy because we are all terrible. It is not Kim Kardashian. It's all of us who made her famous. What can I say, though? I mean, I got a whole show about her, so... It's all of us conscious compromisers who want it warmer, softer, tastier, sexier, louder, faster, better, more salty, more cheesy, more exotic berries from Brazil, please. Consumer choices matter. And if you care about the environment, stop buying shit. Draw a line between need and useless crap. I see you with your new phones and your fast fashion and your concealer and your hair gel. You can't hide from me. You might as well be draped in the pelts of endangered animals and dropping lit cigarettes in the rainforest yourselves. And we know, almost everything comes from the suffering of poor people in poorer countries, and then almost everything produced is harmful to the environment at every stage of production. Ripping up the resources to make it, transporting it across the planet, and then, when we're bored, the inevitable throwing of it away directly into the mouth of a sea turtle. I mean, do we need another McDonald's? It's right there on the sign. Billions and billions served. There is adequate access to McDonald's. We need trees, not McValue meals. Marketing is so stupid and insidious. You'd think, oh, that's all it would take for people to know. And then they'd stop. Oh, that's how you get diamonds? Civil wars? Oh, that's how you get Doritos killing orangutans? Oh, that's how you get Christmas decorations? Some poor guy in a Chinese sweatshop has to breathe in red dust all year round. He's got red all over his whole body. He's got red face. He's got red arms. He pees red. He shits red. He sees red. He's angry, but he also only literally sees in the color red. And you can hear him screaming. He's like, just keep the Santa decorations for a year, please. I need to get out of this festive prison. But it never stops. It just keeps going. And I mean, who decided about diamonds? Who said, this rock, this shall be the best rock? It can't do anything except violate human rights and elicit the envy of your friends. You see what Harold got me? It's 14 carats, and it toppled several African governments. No thanks, lady. I'll stick with the ring I've got. It means I'm a planeteer. Heart! And diamonds are something that already exist. Think of all the crap we make that we do not need. A very passionate example for me would have to be air fresheners. Who has a can of air freshener in their home? You're afraid to get my laser target, but it's okay. I'm an Indian. I eat a lot of curry. I get my fiber. I regularly need to freshen the air. But is producing a slurry of toxic chemicals the way to do it? And then, is it okay to sit around and breathe it in all day long? If you drank it, it would kill you. So is it okay to breathe it in and spread it around the environment? Answer no! And the fragrances they come up with. Hawaiian aloha? Sparkling citrus? Citrus doesn't sparkle. Citrus shouldn't sparkle. Oh, my favorite. Smell the avalanche. You know what an avalanche smells like? Dead snowboarders. Open a window, fools! We've come a long way from hunting, gathering, and getting sacrificed to pagan gods. You no longer have to be fast or strong or a virgin being thrown into a volcano. Today it's all power is money, money is power, and pizza is life. Unnatural social landscapes like the kind we're living in fosters unnatural behaviors. Otherwise, why would a man sleep outside an iPhone store, urinate in a bucket, and not shower for 5 days? Answer: to meet women. He's got the newest phone. We must procreate with him immediately and efficiently. That means lights on and restrict use of your arms. Because owning stuff has become the sign of biological success in our world. An iPhone 7 is the human equivalent of a moose with the largest set of antlers. Or, in Australian terms, a kangaroo with the largest pouch. Market forces manipulate our innate need to fit in and be accepted by the larger social order. Style obsolescence. Things go out of fashion. It's corporate strategy used to pressure you into buying things and making you feel embarrassed and uncool if you don't. Joke's on those suckers. I'm Indian. I always feel like that all the time. I tried to Google cool Indians, and Google was like, did you mean uncool Indians? And if it's not style obsolescence, it's product obsolescence. Because if you're not buying fast enough, you've got to be forced into it. And everything we own is designed to break down. Personally, I've owned 5 laptops in 10 years. And I'm no idiot. I stopped Googling from the bath like 3 laptops ago. But insidiously, things always fail. My Wi-Fi stopped working. I went through the entire troubleshooting guide, and eventually I got to a message that said, if none of that was successful, try getting help from a friend. My computer told me to get help from a fucking friend. Who does it think my friends are? Bill Gates hasn't returned a single call. I would email him, but my Wi-Fi doesn't work. It turns out that the coding that runs the program that operates the Wi-Fi turned itself off. How did that happen? I didn't do it. I Googled from the bath. I'm an idiot. It's a conspiracy, and everyone knows it, but we accept it as the way the world works. Let me ask, where is the graveyard of old laptops and used phones for all the crap, the hard plastic, the empty tubes of product, your microbeads, your old furniture? The short answer is mostly China. But the real answer is everywhere. There's a garbage island in the Pacific Ocean that's twice the size of Texas. And it's not the only one. We don't take out the trash. We relocate it. And we've all seen the pictures. Garbage piles of geological proportions growing every day wherever there are people. Landfills. Does that word sound ominous to anyone else? Is that like right there in the name? Is that the whole strategy? Just fill up the land. Landfill. What could go wrong? How long until our cities are engulfed by a tidal wave of smartphones and old toilet seats? We all know, but we keep making the same choices. I'm going to give one more depressing example before I move on. Palm oil plantations. They are destroying the Asian rainforest. Lots of people know this. And it's in thousands of products. No one cares. We all brush our teeth, clean our dishes, put on makeup, all on the backs of orphan baby orangutans. And businesses are getting away with it because people would rather suck on a pack of Mexicana Doritos than let an orangutan grow up in a loving family unit. But it's not really our fault, is it? Is it? No, because we're fallible humans. And for the most part, people are horrible and selfish. You can't expect anything better from a group of a-holes like us. All the plants and animals are like, what the fluke, God? Seriously? And God's like, ooh, sorry, my bad, free will, who knew? You want to know just how horrible we can be? I was researching for this talk, and I had to look up if Doritos is still using unsustainable palm oil, which they are. And my first thought was, oh, good, okay, they're still doing that so I can tell my joke. I mean, it's bad it's happening, but at least my comedy is relevant. So we buy the shit, but we're not the ones holding a gun to a monkey's head. Give us all your habitat, we'll let the little ones go. Because, let's face it, none of this crap should be available to use. Because if it's hurting the environment, it's got to go. That's why we have government. To keep us in line. An elected council of elders, the wisest and truest among us, charged with the solemn duty of guiding us towards a more advanced, benevolent, Dorito-free society. I have a note here that says to pause for laughter and possible crying. Turns out the political process is a bigger circus than what's going on at the civilian level. The government is supposed to manage our natural resources, not just sit there while business systematically disables the entire global ecosystem for profit. When did we vote on that? I have two examples that are particularly relevant to Australia. CFCs, first one. CFCs came into use in the 1960s, wide-scale use in the 1960s. It took 1 decade for them to discover that it destroys ozone, particularly above Australia, because we live here at the butt end of the planet. What followed then was 50 years of swift government bureaucracy. They are still phasing out CFCs today. If we're lucky, we might get there by 2030, after 60 years of unaffected profit margins, plus the additional bonus of new business opportunities to exploit. Because let's face it, guys, punch biopsies and hats aren't free. Because, I mean, we all know this. A large portion of our GDP comes from our healthcare system. So if you're keeping track, the sicker we are, the better our country is doing. And if you can explain that to me, find me after. And I'm sorry. Example number 2 has to be mentioned. The Great Barrier Reef, TEA. Soon to be called the below average barrier reef. The crowning jewel of Australia. Almost half of it dead in our lifetime. And the Department for the Environment tries to hide it from the public. Like a toddler trying to hide soiled sheets. Except the sheets, in this case, are the greatest structure ever built by living organisms, and the stench is twice as bad. But I don't claim to understand how the government works. I mean, I have no idea why there are deadlines to submit World Heritage bids to protect areas like northern Queensland and the reef itself from things like runoff pollution, port development, mining, dredging, increased shipping. I mean, I don't know why we have deadlines to do perfectly logical good things in the first place. It's not like a firefighter says, that fire started on the wrong day, we're just gonna let it burn. And I really don't understand why the government would let a deadline like that just slip right by. That's crazy. I mean, if the planet is less habitable, who's gonna vote for them in upcoming elections? Not thinking it through. So it turns out our government is just horrible, selfish people who also don't give a shit about the environment, which is worse. And I was talking about this particular predicament to a very condescending Buddhist recently. You know the kind? They're always flaunting their enlightenment. He said to me, all things are equal. I said, I agree, but how could humans not think that we're above everything else? I mean, the whole environment submits to our every whim. We've conquered every climate. We eat what we want, where we want, when we want. We can be hot when we want to be. We can blow shit up. We can build things. We even keep a tally of all of the animals we make go extinct. Oh, we did it again. Black rhinoceros, cross them off. It's like a global hit list. Humans dominate. A lion could be like, I'm the king of the jungle. And a human person could just be like, kablamo. Well, I'm the king now, Mufasa. Case in point, the second most intelligent species on the entire planet is the chimpanzee, because of its ability to shape and render tools. I have an example of one of those tools here with me today. This is not a tool. This is a stick. We're building particle accelerators, stealth bombers, NutriBullets, and the guys in second place are sitting in the dirt, poking at the ground with a stick. What I'm saying is, it's easy to feel superior. But that Buddhist, he wouldn't let it go. He said, nothing can exist outside the laws of nature. No other animal exists beyond its means. You haven't been muscled out of your home by a pack of lowland gorillas, have you? No other animal makes garbage. Everything they do gets recycled one way or another. For example, The collective biomass of ants actually outweighs that of humans. And they have advanced societies. They make houses, they grow food, they build dumps, they construct cemeteries, they produce chemical weapons and medicines, but you wouldn't know it because everything they produce gets upcycled by nature. And don't kid yourself, the consumer cycle is not a natural cycle because natural cycles don't end in the ocean to choke a dolphin. Right now, humanity is being outsmarted by ants, and they don't even go to school. A school for ants? Preposterous! And Buddhist was so smug after that. So the situation is dire, dare I say, inconvenient. Our leadership is failing us. It's decreasing the habitability of the planet, and Mars is nowhere near ready. But I want to take a moment and digress and talk about human society, because as bad as it seems, it's nothing compared to what it was. Most of human history is all of the worst scenes from Game of Thrones on repeat for like thousands of years. It's the guy getting his eyes squished out of his head over and over for millennia and millennia. People were fucked up. Okay, they used to gather and watch someone get killed for a good time. That was a family outing. You, your spouse, your kids, you'd all go down to the town square, watch someone get hung, you'd cheer, you'd buy a piece of rope as a souvenir, you had a bite to eat, and you go home. And then, on your way home, your village gets attacked, gets burned to the ground, you and everyone you know gets murdered or tortured or enslaved, and then you're just like, Mondays, am I right? Now a bad day is a Canadian mocking you for wearing diamonds and eating Doritos. It's not that bad. Basically, everyone in the past was a psycho, but nobody realized it except for a few scared scientists. And they were grossly outnumbered, so they just kept their mouths shut. Today, all we have are reality TV stars. They're not that bad. They're not hurting anyone directly, indirectly, sure. But at least we're not applauding while they chop off someone's head and put it on a steak. Now is the best time to be alive. We have never been smarter or more connected. I'll take that. I'm responsible for that. It's so good to be human. We could have been born gazelles. Gazelles that fall out of their mothers on the plains of Africa and then instantly have to start running for their lives. A gazelle's birth goes just like this. Thunk. Oh, hey, it's good to be here. Whoa, what are we doing? We're running? Oh, okay. I'm just like, oh, not that way. Sharp teeth. Oh, okay. I'm trying to keep up, but my legs are slippery from birthing fluids. Elsewhere, a human child is swaddled in soft fabrics for half a decade. And then they get cartoons. It's good to be us. Penicillin, air conditioners, Vegemite, all pretty good, except the Vegemite. Okay, the whole system we've oriented our existence around is rotten at its core and crumbling all around us. And we're all pretending like it's not happening, living like it's the last days of Caligula, in a blind, nightmarish orgy of excess, a hell from which we cannot awaken. But at least there's riveting TV like Married at First Sight, and tomatoes are available year-round. I truly believe people want things to be different, but they're trapped by their jobs. But jobs are the problem. You think the guy that's driving the tractor that's knocking down the rainforest likes what he's doing? Of course not. But he's got to make his 30 cents a day so he can raise his kids and continue the cycle of poverty. What about the guy mixing the Cool Ranch seasoning at the big vat at the Doritos factory? He's probably thinking, this does nothing to inspire my poetry. Then he goes home and he eats a baby cow so he can feel better. That's why people medicate with this superficial shit, like purses and gluten-free pasta, to push down feelings of shame and discontent. Global eco-resort type paradise. We just need to do one thing, followed by several other crazy things. They will all fall under the umbrella of New World Normal after we implement the first crazy thing. And here it is. We have to stop making stuff. You can scavenge, you can tinker, you can grow, but mass production? No! Everybody who has a stupid non-job, stop doing it. That means if you're, into doing theoretical deals with the economy, I'm talking to you. Let's be honest, you will know if your job is bullshit, and if you're not sure, your friends will tell you. If you work at a mall or if you're an accountant, you're all fired. Don't worry, because there's not going to be any money anymore. At least for a little while. We'll probably have some kind of system for trade. I haven't worked it all out yet. Just go with it. Also, if your job is hurting the environment, like if you make pesticides or if you're John Mayer, do not go to work tomorrow or ever again. I know we're gonna have a lot of failed crops, and that's just the inconvenience I think we'll be willing to put up with. The political process is not moving fast enough. So let's just turn the machine off. Let's just get the gears to stop turning for a few years. Yes, it will be abject chaos. But don't act like you don't want things to get crazy for a while. I know you do. Shake it up. And people will eventually figure stuff out. Humans aren't anything if not adaptable. So we all just live in an enforced post-apocalyptic hunter-gatherer scenario, but not really. And then we put all of our resources towards science and fixing the environment. It'll be like primitivism meets high-speed internet. Okay? Boom, 5, 10 years tops. We'll have all this shit figured out. If we didn't distract our greatest minds with stress and debt and reality TV, we'd probably already be there. Imagine how far humanity could get if we didn't waste our resources on useless bullshit. And if we just focused on the basics, trust me guys, it could be like high-end glamping for everybody. That's what I'm aiming for. So everybody, just stay put, and we live like natives for a few years, and the world will try to recover from what we've been doing to it in the meantime. The worst part of every neighborhood is the infrastructure. Have you ever looked out at the city and seen all the gray corrugated metal and the brown featureless elements and just thought, blech? The best part of every neighborhood is the nature. No one loses their shit over a parking lot. But you put in some dogs and flowers, people are happy. So everybody that had a fake job before, your new job is to cultivate the land. So rip up the shopping malls and build giant vertical gardens. What I'm saying is, let's build an edible paradise. And wouldn't you rather look out at the city and see beautiful green fruiting plants instead of Aussie home loan offices? And we're gonna have to forget about animal agriculture. We're just gonna let all the cows and chickens loose, and if we catch them, we catch them. If we don't, it's just corns and beans for dinner. Maybe some of the guys down the street have figured out how to ferment alcohol. So in closing, we're not allowed to travel. We're not allowed to manufacture. And again, it will be crazy. The population is going to take a definite hit. But maybe we could stand to lose a few people. We'd solve a lot of problems right now if half of us just walked into the ocean. Harold Holting it, I believe. Don't act like you don't want to give this a try, especially if it meant you didn't have to go to your mind-numbing, idiotic job. I'm 100% certain there are more people alive that would like to do things my way rather than maintain the status quo. Imagine if you didn't have to go to your thank you. Imagine if you didn't have to go to your shitty job and your time was freed up and you could just be outside in nature having a blast. There are more of us than there are of them, so I reckon we just do it. International Stop Work Day. Don't occupy Wall Street, just occupy your homes. That's all I've got to say, guys. Thanks for paying attention. Thank you. Thank you.